get this going. I do have the webcam back because I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be in a bad location. Now, last time we finished off, as ever, with a bad end for Kano. He has, to this point, been primarily a dipshit. I am a bit amused by the fact that because we could theoretically go back, we of course have everybody's last bits of timeline here, but it's not useful for us. My mustache really wants to curl up and annoy the hell out of me. So we're focusing on Achi and Hitomi here. I will say that one thing I do actually really like about this is, I know that this is just pretty standard VN stuff, just having the text on top of the background rather than having it in, like, you know, little text box. I really like that. I understand why a lot of the kind of traditional VNs kept to that. At least for a long time, anyway. But this is a lot older than its Steam release date would seem to imply. So. Yeah, this isn't any additional information. Although I suppose it's useful as a refresher. I will say one thing that I do like is because I have moved my microphone up here, it actually gets pulled by VCam, so whereas when it was in front of me, frequently it would not. I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing. If you had a a gang that was essentially trying to keep streets clean. I know that's what some of the shit. I was gonna say I know that's what some of the gangs did in Oakland, and then they all of the ones that started doing that ended up getting taken over by people who weren't interested in that. So I was gonna say, oh yeah, it doesn't make sense that they would fall apart, but shit, in the city where I grew up, they kind of fell apart like that. Usually not in the swapping of just one leader, usually it was, one leader and then the next one would be a little bit looser on things, and then so on and so forth till they're back to being as bad as the gangs they were trying to replace. Yeah, Achi is trying to be a good guy, but Hitomi is having none of it. I don't think Achi would be willing to back down on this one. Hey, I can relate to that. Especially to the trailing off and feeling like an idiot. That was actually a very interesting transition for the lights there. Like, it doesn't seem logical that just turning on a window like that would provide as much light as it did, but it actually looked really good. Hey, I forgot how to navigate things. Ah, yes, the mysterious 13th floor. Oh, that's going to be swapping over to Tama. Jesus, at the 5 minute mark. Environmentalist. Mean clean. So Achi's kind of a dipshit, but you know, at least he's a dipshit who is going along with what I would want him to do. Some of the camera angles that they use on this are very strange. And the lighting in this case. Isn't the lighting coming from above? Why is it casting such a harsh shadow on... Well, I mean, I guess it's actually this side. Um, on his left. She might be super scared of cockroaches. I mean, regular cockroaches aren't too bad, but the flying buzzing fuckers? Ooh. No bueno on my end. And thus Achi decided to leave her corpse there. Really? I was making a joke, game. What the fuck? Holy. This game has the most ridiculous fucking bad ends. It is so good. Wait. Wait a fucking second. I am deeply oh. Let's remove me, so I don't know how to remove me real quick. I must have disabled the hotkey. The cracker in her left hand. How the fuck does that work? It's like the shots were composited together, but something is kinda messed up. Man, Shiri's rude as hell. Is that like Tamagotchi? But yes. Yes, it is. Oh. I mean, at least the name sort of makes sense. It is decidedly a knockoff, but... Route Watch. Route Watch. But tragically, he is an idiot. Understandable. What's this gonna say? I'm actually kind of amused that they bothered translating the menu stuff for this. Oh, that is an annoying noise. Also, I kind of like the idea of, unlike a normal Tamagotchi, where your goal is to keep, like, evolving it or whatever the fuck it was. Your goal is instead to make eels that are more and more delicious. That's a lot of fucking sushi. There is no light switch, of course. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I do like how much they mock him though. Ah, a cockroach. I suspect challenging it to single combat is what actually caused it to end up outside. So, grabbing the box and running. That was actually nicely done as far as sliding Tama's head off screen, just amusingly. They have dealt with him enough to know that he is bad news. Yep. Oh man, I can relate to Cheery already having pulled up with a bad back. Yep. Well, going together would mean that Tama actually has somebody who is competent with her. Splitting up likely is necessary for somebody else's story in the future. Cheery will likely fuck with somebody else. So. Oh hey, we've... Ah. I'd forgotten who it was. But I knew that his face looked familiar. He's the person that... Oh man, I've already forgotten our characters' names. The writers. The writer saved. Yeah, her dad's a bit of a dipshit, so... That one's understandable. So we've apparently already missed the swap over to Tama's thing. I guess that required the fight the cockroach in single combat. Maybe. Maybe it allows us to transfer in here? I kinda doubt it. Normally those things only let you transfer in at the same spot. That's not the correct one. Transfer in at the same time. And normally they're necessary at that. Yeah. Oh, I guess maybe because we had already done it it she was able to find said light. Okay, whatever. This is definitely a far more artistic opening than the rest of the ones had been. I apparently double tapped square. Sometimes excluding Afghanistan. That one depends upon the region you are from, weirdly. Yeah, the latter definition there is the one that I am most familiar with. Which specific one? Okay, yeah, that was kind of what I expected it to be. Those are very weird pants. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Ah, so Saw was a dipshit. And it's like he's a neat, except he's employed. Ah, so his relationship with his wife is since... Man, I can't think of a way to put it that doesn't make Osawa just sound like a complete and utter dipshit. Not real sure that there is a way to put it that doesn't make Osawa sound like a complete and utter dipshit. I'm beginning to suspect that is because Osawa is a dipshit. Although I did say that before. Well, you know, it's a detective who is really good at being annoying. Primarily because of persistence, but... So this is why Tanaka's worried, because this kind of suggests that there's evidence for their lab being compromised. Which suggests there are other measures that might be worrying. Ah. The virus also being present makes it far more reason to have a very good storage facility. Well, I mean, that's a possibility, but I mean, could also just be an error in said program, or could be any number of things. Ding. I'm beginning to think that it actually is probably there's like a backdoor for the fingerprint program. We're out of tea. Yeah, this is not what I expected it to actually be. God, the noises are actually pretty accurate. It is pretty ridiculous. Hmm. Well, I wonder if Tanaka is also being blackmailed or something of the sort. He likely kills Osawa, I would assume. Oh, oh. Maybe it is not what I expected. Is it going to be a love letter? Is that what is going to have shocked Tanaka? I'm going to assume that it's going to be a love letter from Tanaka. Also, not shocked Tanaka, shocked Osawa. God, I'm terrible with names. Yeah, Chiaki has utterly failed to do anything as far as interviews, unfortunately. And of course, I think when we had the detectives over there, not Kano, but his partner, chewed her out for being suspicious. But that may have been one of the things that we had to walk back on. I don't fully remember. Hey, this is another recurring character. I actually really like all the recurring characters. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's not supposed to. Well, it's supposed to kind of make Shibuya feel a lot smaller than it actually is, but it's it's really nice all the same. Seeing a whole bunch of characters that at least look familiar, even if not gotten much more than their name and picture. I also kind of like how it demonstrates how, with how much of the advertising we've seen focused on one particular person, in this case the idol Ayakamiki, um, who I assume is created for the story. But I should probably actually look it up rather than just stating that kind of matter-of-factly. It does kind of point to one of the differences between how dedicated some of the advertising is in Japan versus here. Of course, then again, I'm not exactly in a major city, nor have, while I have lived in Oakland and San Francisco, those don't have advertising the same way that major East Coast cities do, by which I really just mean New York in this case. I actually like that Norikawa was getting yelled at here. Man, these shots are good. He's not wrong. That actually raises a decent question. Does Japan normally, like, actually identify potential interviewees as much as even that? That seems a little bit odd. I mean, I suppose it'd be nice to know which statements were, you know, said all by one individual, but so this is the first background we've hit that actually makes reading some of this a little bit, well, this section has had some backgrounds that have made reading some of the things a little bit difficult. Which is a little bit surprising given the whole it's white with a black outline, and that's normally good on everything. Or at least readable on everything. But certain things have had a weird amount of contrast to make the black kind of blend in and the white somehow seem lower contrast than it should. And similarly, the what the hell is it called? I want to call it color shift because I'm too fucking stupid to know what it actually is called. But the little bit of color variation on the edge of the um, background also kind of fucks with the contrast a little bit. And so while it does not make the actual text difficult to read, it makes the background difficult to look at. In this case, I think it's caused by the lens keeping the background out of focus. Yeah, no smoking. Well, that was more information than I really wanted to see. I am very glad that Norikawa is consistently a dipshit. I'm actually glad that that's happening kind of across the board. I know that as an asthmatic, I am pretty goddamn sensitive to cigarette smoke. Ah, hey, it's Kano's girlfriend and her old man. I have a feeling A is going to be important eventually, but wow. Wow, go fuck yourself, Minorikawa. Wow. Low battery. God damn it, Cheery. Cheery, you're supposed to be working. Oh, hey. That is a ridiculous amount of food. Interesting. Pretty sure such devices are not entirely legal. And again, it's not like the devices that they are trying to catch are entirely legal either. I know that it's because there's a step at the bottom, but the height difference for Norikawa is kind of amusing me. uh, I am extremely glad that the game knows when the argument in text has gone on far too long. Okay, so the bug detector, turns out, was a bad idea. Which is actually a little bit strange because I would expect it to be relevant maybe eventually. That is a terrifying concept. Yes. Yes, you dipshit. And even the narrator's getting into this. I am now terrified of the idea of one or two meals where that are 5 times as large as that. Huh. Okay, so maybe that is actually relevant. So Minorca was going to have to pay for that meal, I assume. On the run. Yeah, just staying out of trouble seems like the best option. We're hitting lots of keep outs. Oh, Achi should actually be good now. I don't think Kano has had anything change. Yeah, Tama turned on the lights, but because she did not fight the cockroach, it should stay in there. Fortunately, because there wasn't like a save point or anything right before it, it's a couple lines before it. You do have to go through these lines again. probably like 5 or 6 pages total. Yeah, that was our first new thing, I think. No. I remember the him thinking the man, she's so cute line. Okay, so we are back on this. Hitomi this time is not killed by a cockroach. And this is another one that I am finding a little bit difficult to read because of how busy the background is. I can only imagine how rough it would be with Japanese. Oh. Since their individual lines and parts of characters matter much more than with English. Or, well, Latin. I'm thinking this is a bad idea, but I actually do like the idea of translating that, whatever it ended up being, as hella fine, because it's one of those things of, it's probably something that was said in a regional dialect, and hella is by and large still regional. Yeah, I suspect A goes poorly for Achi. Not because he couldn't do the ass kicking, but because of everything else that could potentially happen while he was beating the shit out of him. So, a newcomer. Kiryu. I wonder if that is a reference. I actually don't know when 428 originally came out, so I don't know if it is too old, or if it's recent enough for it to have been a Yakuza reference. Oh, thank you, Tip Screen. You are occasionally actually amusing. For some reason, I was actually expecting it to be a reference to the wrestling move. For some reason, I always forget that that it's recent enough for characters to have cell phones. Because they come up so rarely. Oh, this is going to be the thing that Naka shows Osawa. I mean, I doubt it, but you never know. Oh, hey, that's the first typo that I've noticed that is definitely a typo. Why would they go after Hitomi? There have been certain cases where they've had kind of awkward phrasings for things, but I mean, there are certain times where I definitely phrase things awkwardly myself, so I can't exactly complain too hard about that. That and some of it could just be effectively dialect as far as word choice goes. Got instead of go, though, definitely actually a typo. I don't think it's worth patching, though. Weird as that sounds. It's one of those things of, VN with like one or two typos. It more easily comes to mind that, oh yeah, the rest of it was really good than a VN that doesn't have any obvious typos, with but maybe had slightly more awkward phrasing, or was focused on the technical side rather than making everything sound good. But I mean, regardless, a lot of the VNs have an absolutely absurd amount of writing. So Damn, I was hoping to find out now. Yeah, that is quite disturbing. Damn it. Man, I'm surprised he had any level of popularity with lame jokes and being immediately deleted. I wonder if Kajiwara is trying to piss off Osawa. Oh, that is bad. You know, it had not occurred to me that there would be the possibility of fan forums for older fans for idols and such. That's really not something that I'd missed the end of the statement. Well, that one's probably not going to do anything. Leaving the study, however. But now Kajiwara has access to the computer. Ah. Oh, we know who those are. in theory. I've already forgotten the name because, again, terrible with names. I mean, if he's saying that they cannot help or trust the police in this case, it doesn't make any sense to not help them. Hey! Yeah, we just saw that. I wonder if that will actually take us to the keep out point on Norikawa's page. It seems promising. Oh, yeah. Excellent. So this is actually relevant. I think. Yeah, this is what we said before. And with any luck, it will... Okay, so that was not the... bit that actually ended up being relevant. Hmm. Hmm. Actually, I don't think that's going to end up being relevant regardless. We might need to change some things around for this to end up being good swap point. Good jump point, not swap point. Should actually use the terminology the game uses. So Osawa is being helpful. Had I taken it? Interesting. This feels like a keep out moment, but I guess it's not. Okay. Oh, keep reading. We need to know what else was in that scrapbook. I can't say I am entirely surprised. Also, it's a little bit weird nowadays having it be on CDs. But I mean, at the time this came out, that would have been extremely relevant. Assuming he can find said copy. Hmm. What could be going on with Makino? I actually don't know how to say the name. I don't know how the transition from the ma to the ki in this case goes. Hmm. So Osawa is not innocent in this. At least not fully. I do like in this case that it does not tell us how that trial went. It's kind of nice in that way. We have a keep out for Tama, which we've not had any jumps for. We have this, which we did jump out of, but is not otherwise finished. Unlikely. Yeah, somehow I doubt that Achi is very convincing there. Much as, I mean, he's probably about as good of an actor as I am. I really like the couple times that the tips have done something of this isn't that type of game. At least partially because it's one of those things of, well, it's going against the reputation, even if not actuality, of the ends. It struck me when he asked the question that I actually didn't know the answer. I don't think I've ever thought of it being a shortening of any specific word. Science Strikes Back. I can't tell if that's supposed to be like a walkie-talkie or a power strip. Interesting. I'm curious as to... Oh. I do appreciate how so many times Achi has stated something, and I just have no idea what the hell the correlation to what he is trying to say is until he explains it. What if the cane's a second gun? I think it's more that it's really, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing with a parry, it's very easy to injure the person. And now it's just embarrassing. Yeah, that is suspicious. He could be a detective. I appreciate the little bit at the end specifying that it is not the same as the English slang. Most likely. The old cell phone. That sounds like a good idea. By which I mean it sounds like a terrible idea. This is about the worst idea that Achi has had. By which I mean me as the player has had. I really like the hand with the gun just sticking out of the boxes. It is it is just perfect. Just the dumbest fucking thing possible. But I suppose that's kind of the point of much of hey. Yeah, we need to get back to Minorikawa's story. But this isn't going to lead us somewhere we have been yet. Is it? Nice. It seems like a cheap wristwatch. Like a cheap wristwatch that's trying to be fancier than it is. I actually really like that it says limited edition because that almost assuredly means that nothing was fucking changed. I also like how large the little glow strips on it are. I can't remember the actual fucking name. Who would willingly set that to their cell phone ringer? Then again, I'm saying that like anybody actually leaves the ringer on for their cell phone anymore. Or Chiaki. Maybe. Wow. Wow. I know that Japan actually has some level of uh, worth in its coins. I'm just so used to coins not being worth much of anything that seeing him pay for the coffee with coins seemed a little bit strange. Yep. So, I suspect... I actually do want the hint this time. Ah. Okay, so this was actually my fuck up on Kano. I had forgotten that that had happened in this time frame. I was thinking that it had happened in a prior time frame. Inept. Yeah. Okay, so without Kano there, Sasayama presumably isn't as much of a dipshit to Chiaki. And this is actually back on the same... Wait a second. I don't know if this is where we had stopped before. Ah, so Sasayama's actually being useful. I mean, somehow I doubt that Kano is actually going to be relevant to much of anything aside from potentially fucking everything else up, so taking the man to a hospital seems like the reasonable thing to do. So... Ah. That actually makes some sense. Wait a second. Where the fuck have we heard the name Sohei Akari before? It actually sounds familiar. Actually, I know what it is. I think. I think my brain is kind of trying to make the connection with Kiryu, and I don't know why. Hmm. That's interesting. Of course, I hit X too quickly. Asking about how things went with... God, I'd forgotten about how dumb Sasayama's shirt was. Ah, and because they didn't yell at her, it's, not going to be horrible for her. Just standard. Dang it. Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, so they're both lazy. Good to know. Excellent to know, in fact. I'm actually curious as to which of these is going to be the right answer. I mean, logically, after handcuffing him, he could check in with Sasayama. But if Sasayama's not yet accomplished the same, then calling him early would be a bad thing. Wing? Ah, so who is this actually competent cop? Well, so much for that. Yeah, I suppose that English is actually taught in some level of English, basic level of English, at the same level as I have of Japanese is taught in many schools. Interesting. I suppose this actually gives me a date where the game might have taken place. I fucking love that his signature just says John Hancock. That is perfect. That is just 10 out of fucking 10. That is quite possibly the best thing I've seen today. Makes sense. No. Yeah, Kuze likely doesn't either. Yeah. As he states. This is coming from on high. So I suspect it's probably a matter of interesting. Just international stuff. I mean, it's stated foreign crime syndicate. I suspect, I mean, what, almost everybody that we had gotten any level of information on was European. So, probably not an American crime syndicate, but that doesn't tell me a goddamn thing. Tatano is the fucking dipshit with the cane, isn't he? Yeah, he got hit with a forklift. This explains so much about why Kano's such a crappy detective. If Tateno is the shithead with the cane, oh, it explains everything. Yeah, we jumped from that point. In fact, really, aside from the cockroach killing Hitomi, we've not had any kind of stoppages with Achi stuff, just jumping to other people's stories. Achi's going to ruin this moment. I'm incorrect. Wait a fucking second. I'm focusing on the background right now. I had no idea that type of cover for I think that's a... Man, my memory sucks. It's like a journal. I have one of those. Like, it's one of those things that I know that there's a variety of journals that operate under like the same, roughly same size. I'd love to sit here and say what size it is. I know Japan uses the, A5, B5, etc. But I have no clue. They also have their own sizing system that's more... They have a lot more vertically oriented books, which, again, makes sense, based off the writing system. But the thing that actually drew my attention there was the plastic cover. And then looking down and seeing that, oh hey, the actual book itself looks very similar to the thing I have. But of course the one that I have was on the actual English release, so it does not have Japanese in it. Which I know it sounds weird to hear the term English release for something like a diary, but there are like headers and chapter titles and things of that nature. There are also a whole bunch of quotes and such in it. Which is an incredibly inappropriate time, thing to be talking about during this, a fairly serious scene. Hey, that's how ADHD works. I do wonder if he had told them, if they'd have been supportive. Yeah, it's definitely Tateno. Or at least I'm 85% sure. No. No, I seriously doubt that. The other reason why I'm thinking that is because that seems rather like a detective pistol. And it being Japan, who else would actually have regular access to a pistol? I mean, obviously we're dealing with a foreign crime syndicate with this whole storyline, but... Ah, so... We'll need to figure out the jump point to Tama. And certainly hope so. That's not good. This seems like it's the exact same. But it didn't have the... Well, does it have the bad end listing? Bad-ended listing? Listed? Well, this is actually different already, so... I think. It seems different from what I remembered. Yeah, this is definitely different, so that's good. Kinder partners. That's terrible. Yeah. Ah, this is how we get back into the Tama storyline. Excellent. Oh, and actually the Chiri decision that I made ended up being the correct one, apparently. That's incredibly surprising to me. Another thing that I am finding kind of amusing is... And part of this is I do have a little bit of an obsession with journals and such. Her little journal has dot paper. I would have loved for dot paper of any kind to be available regularly when I was going to college. It wasn't until third year? I think third year that I'd regularly get it. And again, it came from Japan. So I can't really say that I am surprised that she has dot paper on in her journal. Oh, the timing. The timing on the sound effects is very, very solid. Who wouldn't be happy to be a cat? Tama is so confused. I doubt it. I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. God, that transition is creepy. Wait, why is the... It's probably just angle or something. The one in his hand looks larger than the one he is wearing. Actually, it strikes me. I've been saying... I'm not 100% certain that it's not, that I've been saying Tama's name correctly. Oh, that's fucking good. God, that it's not there was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, sell all the junk that's in that in that warehouse. God, these are good. These are way better than the things have been in 90% of the other things. Characters stuff. Probably. Including a missed lunch. I feel like I actually do need a hint here. Oh. Huh. That was definitely not Achi. I don't know what you're talking about. It was definitely not a deliberate decision on my end to have Achi break the bottles. Oh god. You can almost see the burning hammer stuff on the box. Or on the boxes that were visible. I was assuming they weren't going to be relevant. Oh. Ooh, that is a far worse situation. I am curious, though, how that leads to the exact same set of circumstances, but... So it turns out that nothing that Shiri or Tama did actually ended up mattering. I don't think I noticed that particular sound effect. The kind of dejected sound effect for when Yanagashita got all dejected. Also, I kind of like that everybody has a flip phone and all of them look very different from what I remember any of the flip phones looking like. Although I actually am super, super glad that I had Achi hit what I'm assuming is the detective with the forklift. Because it gave me that amazing scene that we're not going to get here. there's a small number of them. Damn it, Achi. Is this better or worse than them just not being here? As far as the story's concerned, it's better. Interesting. And that just leaves us with the Norikawa. That drawing is fantastic. Even the kindergartners are helping. I mean, provided the wall's not warped as shit. This time I am speaking from experience. Yeah. Walls that we had we had kind of set aside for rallying against were really messed up. And, with any luck, Chiaki will be successful. Almost one. What? I am deeply confused by what this tip is trying to say. I like how it kind of looked like initially everybody might be looking at him, and then it pulls back and it's no, nobody's really paying attention. So now, in time-honored tradition, our next one's going to be with Kano. We're sticking with 5 is, I guess, my main question. Looks like it was still 5. Yeah. And we are going with Kano, so we can get the time-honored tradition at this point of ending on a bad ending for him. Since I didn't get any more, which surprised me. I don't think either of those locations have come up before. Wait, what did the end say? Yeah. And even fiber guns that actually are entirely done up in fiber, plastic, however you want to call it, need to contain sufficient metal to show up on a scan in order to be legal, regardless of what various other stamps you have making them legal otherwise. I actually kind of like the gun that Kano is using. It looks like a Wather. Beyond that, I couldn't say anything. And then Kano gets stabbed. I wonder whose thing we're going to need to come from to actually get that to not be a bad end. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, though, that is going to be it for me.